Some of you have probably seen a variation of this slide before at the AOE conference last year. I talked about it, and my background's marketing, so I'm very, I guess, focused on not just having one marketing stream. It's got to be multifaceted, and it doesn't matter what category you're selling in. I think in the digital age, digital marketing, where you get very tunnel vision, and all you think about is, Amazon PPC, maybe a bit of Facebook ads, and you forget about everything else. And to be honest, I think in Australia, in a market where Australians, aren't that familiar with Amazon, there is a need to diversify your marketing. And also diversify the platforms that you sell on, as I mentioned earlier about eBay. But eBay is not the only place. So I'll just quickly talk through this very convoluted graphic that I created, which continues to evolve. So your ideal customer is really important, knowing who you're targeting, obviously, and then from that, looking at what your product attributes are. So and making sure your product attributes meet the needs of your customer. So if you've got someone that values, reliability, then your product needs to be reliable. Or they're environmentally conscious people, your product needs to not be a high waste product, or whatever. It has to meet their needs. So just with Facebook, there's a whole raft of benefits beyond, I think, just what people see it as a social platform, and they include, I use it an awful lot for market research, and that's going and stalking what my competitors are doing, but also going and looking at, looking at the comments on certain pages. I follow a whole range of groups. I sell in the baby niche, and I follow a whole range of in my feed is just full of, baby feeding product posts. But so I've really got an understanding of what products are putting themselves in what spaces. They're known for their high quality, non-toxic plastics. So that's a really a great market research tool, I think. For you as a brand trying to get the word out there, it's great for brand awareness. Social proof is really important. We talk about getting reviews on Amazon, but getting reviews on the Facebook platform as well are fantastic for using in your content, which we'll get to in a minute. Lead generation, we forget about this as a lead generation tool. Look at all these options for traffic to drive traffic to your Amazon listing, and I'm guessing probably the majority of the people on the call maybe are doing probably less than half of these traffic drivers to their site. So we'll get to lead generation in a sec. Relationship building gives you an opportunity to respond to people about your posts and their inquiries, unlike Amazon, where you go through, they'll send you an email and you get there's very limited ability to communicate via the Amazon platform. And it obviously it can be, you can develop one of your brand attributes might be fantastic customer service, and you can use Facebook for that. So the content, so there's really 4 types, and it depends on your audience, and some of you may be selling to the older demographic that may or may not be on Facebook, but as Kate will talk about, over 55 is the new, they're getting very internet savvy. They're getting because they have to be, because they're trying to find out what the grandparents are doing in interstate, and it's the only way for them to communicate to their granddaughter, et cetera, et cetera. So there's more people on Facebook than you think, and even if they're not on Facebook, the Facebook pixel is on every website that they visit pretty much. So, if you go to Bunnings and then you go to another website and then, a wheelbarrow ad pops up and you're like, well, how do they know I was just looking at a wheelbarrow in Bunnings? That's because Facebook holds all that data. And, the recent scandal about Facebook, it was bound to happen. It's just, there's so much data there that the fact that they've protected, in my opinion anyway, the fact that they've protected it as well as they have up until recently is quite a no mean feat. So just on the content, I'll just quickly talk through. I use, I don't know who of you have used Canva before, but it's an amazing little tool. So these are ways to drive traffic to your site. Forget about just your stock standard, obviously getting your listing up and the images, that's paramount. That's the most important of all. But I think the second most important is a Google AdWords campaign, which is pretty simple to set up. We don't have time to do it now, but it's driving people that are Googling. And in Australia, people still Google a lot. They don't go to the Amazon search bar as they do in the US. So it's important to get a Google ads campaign running ongoing. And the third thing, or second or third, they're both really important, is a Facebook page where you're not just putting it up there and creating a group and setting them discounts to give you a review, but you're starting to engage with your customers. Now, Canva is, and this is just an account that I've set up. My actual account for my business has got full of designs. You might have seen Neil talk about this, but your Facebook page needs to. You've already got the content, you've already got the images, you already understand sort of what things the customer, or you should, what things the customer is looking for, what your benefits are of the product, and what the features are of the product as well. And so that is a lost opportunity if you're not using that content that you've already developed to post in a Facebook group. So let's just go to Facebook quickly. There we go. And we'll just pick, what's the company name? See what I mean? All sorts of random baby stuff comes up on my feed. So we'll just try One Handed Cooks. I don't actually think they have a product, these guys. Oh, yeah, they do. They've got a book. So, they've got, I hope they do, they've got a whole raft of, I guess, conversation prompters. There's not a lot of work involved in this. Obviously, you have to get people to like your page. This is obviously targeting mums, so the conversation to the parents is really important. And mums can go, oh, look, she's struggling with her 5-year-old as well. It's really important to understand your audience when you do this sort of thing. There's recipes. It's not a great example because it's not a product, but there's quotes. So, and you think, well, I could never create something like this. I'm not a designer. I wouldn't know where to start. And this is where Canva comes in. I've whipped these up in 5 seconds. This is a testimonial design, which when it loads, this I didn't design. This is a template. This is maybe a quote that someone left on Amazon that you put on your Facebook group, and that's all you have to do is post it. And so it's really about, this is where the social proof comes in. And so where, people might visit Amazon every now and then and search in the search bar, and then, forget about the need to buy a baby bib or whatever they were there buying. This is going into their feed, going into their Facebook feed on a regular basis. And I recommend when you start, try and do 3 posts a week as a minimum, and it might be one quote. And you're not making this stuff up. This is just quotes that exist relating to your industry. And, these are probably completely irrelevant for someone that's selling a barbecue scraper, but go and find the companies that are selling the barbecue scrapers and find out what their posts are about. And you'll be able to see from their posts, on their page, what ones are getting the most likes. They've got 10 likes for this post, 8. So find the ones that have got the good amount of likes and shares, and they're the sort of content that people are looking for. And I too tend to focus around baby, but that's my niche, so that's why I do. Okay, and there's a quote. This quote's on everything. It may be some. Generally, it's sort of something funny. The biggest shared content on the internet is the entertaining content, and usually it's funny, entertaining. So you don't think it does much for your brand, but you just remain top of mind. It's brand awareness. Every post that you do. And this is another one, say you just do an FAQs post once a week. You've already got on your listing things like, under your bullet points, you've got easy, clean design. So it's very simple to take that copy and put it into a post. So this would be the image post, and then on your actual page, you just have silicone bibs, easy to wash, a dishwasher safe, etc., etc. So what I do is, and with all my clients, I recommend just setting up a simple spreadsheet and have a tab which says quotes, a tab which has FAQs, and you have a column to paste an image in so you know what you're doing, and a column to add your text in. And maybe once a month or once a fortnight, you go in and you spend an hour doing research on quotes relating to dogs, or not dogs because we don't like that category. What did you say? Guinea pigs, Kate.
I found guinea pigs on the ASIN list, and I thought, yep, they live forever. They and every family goes through a guinea pig period.
Yes.
Well, a lot of families.
Yes. And so the same with your FAQs. You just go through your content on your Amazon listing, which you took a lot of effort doing. Well, the other thing to do is as well go through other Amazon listings of a similar product to yours and find out what questions are being asked, and that's your FAQs. And you might have 10. And that's 10 weeks worth of content. And so I guess this is content that you create, but you have to find an audience first. And I'm not going to go into detail, but there's a huge amount of ways to target people on Facebook, and it's probably, it's cheaper than Google AdWords, and it's more targeted. So I want to find women that are childbearing age in Australia, and then I can create an ad. I know that their kids, if they're wearing bibs, they're of the age of 0 to. Let me find it. It is not under interest. It's under family, I think. Anyway, I'm not going to. We could spend a whole day on this. It's under. There's an option to find for people who've got kids aged 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 3 to 4. So you can do really targeted stuff here. And then you can, the posts that you've just created, you can send them to that, or you can just don't do boosted posts. I think Neil talked about this the other day. They're not very targeted. If you're well down the track, I recommend just doing the manual ones, which aren't really that hard to do. Just quickly going back to my convoluted diagram here. So that's Facebook, very, very broad brush, brushing over it. Google, which we won't cover too much. We talked about Google AdWords. Google, the search console, the searching drives traffic to the listing, your own website. And you want, obviously, your website eventually. Don't stress about your website at the start. Just have it sitting there. Initially, it's really just for you to communicate with sellers, get that email address. But down the track, the content that you're creating here, why not replicate it over here, or create it here and then post about it and direct people from Facebook to the content on your website. And then, if you haven't got an e-commerce store on your site, which is, way down the track, potentially, depending on budgets, etc., then from your website, you drive traffic to your listing. Email marketing is still really, depending on the category that you're in, huge conversions. So, you say your Amazon listing, you sell a product here, you sneak a flyer into the pack, which has like us and follow us on Facebook for recipe ideas or whatever, and then from there you get to entertain them, educate, inspire, convert, and then they go back to your listing for the second product, the third product. But in the meantime, while they're buying the product, they're also hopefully leaving a review. And then the reviews on your website, on your listing, result in, number of reviews, providing they're good, result in, driving more traffic back to the listing. Feedback Genius is used. I know myself, and I think you do as well, Kate, use that in the US, just to try and increase the number of people that leave reviews. However, it's not available in Australia yet. I think Neil said there's beta testing.
That's right.
So hopefully it comes soon. So that's basically just following up with them saying, hey, so excited you bought our product, it'll be with you soon, and then, prompting them to leave a review, basically. So going back to your website, so they go to your website and there'll be a pop-up, an e-newsletter sign-up pop-up, goes to a database, which might be, and this is probably overwhelming for a lot of you, but just remember that you can take any of these other marketing ideas and run with them, maybe one out of the whole lot of them, but just to get you thinking outside of the traditional. So your database may be stored in, say, MailChimp, and once a month, you might send out an e-newsletter saying, new product coming soon, or 50% off our range. Hopefully not 50% off. You probably don't make much of it. And then from that drives traffic to Amazon. And that the conversions on email marketing for product sales is massive. There's a huge sale traffic from email marketing. Trade shows is another one, and I myself, it's very easy to get stuck at your desk, but the face-to-face, I've been doing a few just this year, and more because I just wanted to see what new products were out there and get my head around it, as well as go out and talk to customers. And that's probably been the most valuable, is just listening to their objections in person as to why they might not buy it, and then going away and, addressing their concerns, and also realizing, people will pick up my products and go, oh, I could do this with it. I'm like, I never even thought of that. So there's, a whole array of benefits as to why attending a trade show might be worthwhile. And it's 100% your target audience that's walking the floor. So say for the baby category, you just Google baby, I did it earlier, baby expos Australia, and then there's a whole list that come up. The other thing that it provides, so let's jump on here, is the opportunity to meet sellers like yourself. So there you go, Pregnancy, Babies and Children Expo. There's heaps of them, and they're not necessarily that expensive. They'll often have, depending on the category, like pet shows or home shows, or they might have not a beginner's area, but you might just get a table in a corner somewhere. You don't have to have a full expo booth. There's a whole array of exhibitor options, or you get an ad in their e-newsletter that goes out to all the people that are going to attend the event. If you're not able to attend the event yourself, so buying advertising space in third-party trade show e-newsletters. This is my silly term, promotion pals. Promotion, it's really just finding somebody who sells a product similar to yours, but not in competition. For example, one of my products is it's an environmentally friendly product for kids feeding. And so I went to a trade show recently, and I haven't been, like I said, I've only just started going this year, but I met a lady who sells beeswax wraps, which, perfectly aligned with the type of mum that I'm targeting. Her marketing is all, directed at exactly the same person. So now we've started to cross-promote each other's products. And you might run a competition on Facebook and you give away some beeswax wraps and, my products. So, and so from that as well, it's not, like Kate said about partnering, they're almost become like your peers, and you bounce ideas off each other. And we've said to each other, why don't we share a trade space at an event in Melbourne later in the year? So we're halving costs. And, not that I want to spend my life at trade shows, because I did that in my former job, but it's a great way to get feedback, and if it's not big trade shows, small markets, but they have to be relevant to, you have to make sure you're not going to a fruit and veg market. It might be a pet market, or keep going back to pets, but you get the idea. There might be a mini, clothing market, not clothing, bad idea, but you know what I mean. It has to be relevant, and most of the people in the walking past your space have to be your customer. So that's what promotion pals are. Another ways to find promotion pals is on Facebook or Instagram. One of the questions was about, do we use Twitter, Instagram, Google AdWords, or Facebook? Really, it depends. I say just do what you can manage. So if you can only manage a Facebook page, just do one and do it well. It's nothing worse than going to a Pinterest account or an Instagram account and they haven't posted for 2 months, and it doesn't look good. So start with Facebook. Twitter's, they've all got different demographics. There's more women use, like a hell of a lot more women use Pinterest than men. Facebook is a good broad brush, and because it's got Messenger. Most ages use it. So start with Facebook, and then from there, just I guess identify who your customer is. If it's really youngs, I imagine Kate, your well, you're targeting grandmas, so it's different. But if you were targeting this sort of the tween girls, it would be Snapchat and I don't know.
Look, we do have an Instagram and Instagram feed that is targeting the correct demographic, but they're not going to buy the product for themselves. They're less likely to buy the product for themselves. It's definitely a gift product.
Yeah. Yes. So, and Instagram's another one. Instagram was my second social account. So yeah, it just depends on who you're targeting, I guess. I'm going to skim through this because I'm running way over time. Third-party e-commerce sites is sites like, if you've got, I'll just go back to the baby one, just find other companies that sell baby products, the other websites. So there's one called Eat, Sleep, something, it's not coming up, Eat, Sleep, Grow or something. And they have their own e-commerce shop and they sell a whole range of products. It's not coming up. But, all you need to type in is, baby products and you'll be able to contact these companies and they do the marketing on your behalf. So that's there's Nourished Life is an example of one where there's natural and organic products, baby products, but everything. They've got deodorants and skin products, etc. So think about not only selling it on Amazon or your own site, but also other people's websites where they can do the marketing for you. And then the last thing is niche advertising, which really is advertising on, I'm just trying to think of an example. It can be advertising in an e-newsletter from a promotional pal, perhaps, an e-newsletter of a trade show that goes out to the right people, on a banner ad on an arthritis website if you're selling something for arthritis sufferers. Don't forget about the association market. Magazine type websites, they've got banner ad opportunities all over them, and it might cost you $150, but they're 100% the right audience. There's a lot of opportunities with niche advertising on whether it's websites or e-newsletter letters, etc.
Hey, thanks so much for watching that video, and I hope that you got some massive value from it. Before you go, do you live in Australia? If you do, this is for you. Would you like to learn how to sell things on Amazon here in Australia? Would you like to know what sells really, really well and what sells for the maximum amount of profit? Would you like to know where you can source those products from, whether that be in China or here in Australia, and how to source them so you pay bottom dollar and get maximum value for what you're doing? If you do, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and you'll learn that and much more. It's the exact same information that people like Jeff from New South Wales have used to make $45,000 a month on Amazon, that Sue, who's from the sunny coast, has used to purchase herself a brand spankly BMW every single year as a result of her e-commerce business, and the lovely Kate from Bowral in New South Wales has used to make $32,000 a year on, a month, not a year, a month on Amazon, and indeed Anthony, who makes $15,000 a month on Amazon, selling, as he puts it, odds and sods. If you'd like to learn the exact same information that they use to maximize their profits for their Amazon businesses, subscribe to this video, like my channel, post below if you want me to teach you something. Okay, I'm out of here. Speak to you soon. Bye. Subscribe. Do it now.